Howdy y'all, it's Ryan from RNA Music, your favorite mom and pop music lesson studio and guitar shop deep in the heart of Texas. That's where I'm at, and got something special for you today. Let's check it out. So what I've got for you guys and girls today is some resources for guitar practicing. And there's a link in the description of this video down below where you can go get some PDFs that we created, well, I've created, that I use in my everyday lessons as we teach one-on-one in-person lessons here at the shop. And I've got some diagrams and PDFs that I've gone to the trouble to sort of create and put my own spin on, explaining a couple of things for you guys. So if you're interested in that, it's down there in the description. We've already had a few of our long-term supporters go ahead and grab that PDF, and I thank you very much for that. But I thought I'd make a quick video to explain what is in the package, that if you decide to get that, what is going on there. So let's get to it. The first couple of diagrams are just chord diagrams, right? Now the way that I did the chord diagrams and the way I teach them a lot of times with our students is I teach them in their key. Say if we're in the key of G, right? You've got certain bass chords, basic chords in every major key. And I've got books, and there's books and charts and magazines, and you can buy posters with chords on them, but they're like, all right, here's all the different kinds of A chords. A7, A major, A minor, A diminished, A minor 7. So it's just all of the A chords. And then it goes all of the B flat chords, and then all of the B chords, and all the C chords. And I don't really like that so much. It's a great resource, I suppose, but that's not actually how you kind of use chords. Really, when you're playing music, most of the time, if you're learning a song or you're writing a song, perhaps, we're usually doing that in a key, major key, minor key, whatever. So I think it makes sense to, when you're practicing or learning your chords, to like pick a key and practice those chords that are in that key as they relate to each other, because that's how songs are written generally. Now you can of course always have borrowed chords in your songs. A lot of times you'll find something like a 5 of a 5 and you're like, what is this? This doesn't belong in this key. It's like, well, it's the 5 of the 5 chord of this key. So there's ways to explain it. But in general, keeping it simple, every major scale has got 7 notes, and therefore we have 7 basic chords that we can build on each of those 7 notes, being major, minor, and a diminished chord. So I like to explain that, hey, if we're in the key of G, obviously you're gonna have a G chord, which is your 1 chord. Right, you have a G, then you have an A minor, the 2 chord, then you have a B minor, the 3 chord, C is your 4, D is your 5, E is your 6, and F sharp diminished. F sharp diminished. You have 3 major chords and 3 minor chords and 1 diminished chord as what I consider to be bass chords per key. Now from there, of course, you can take those and make 7s, 9s, 13s, that kind of stuff. sus4s, sus2s. We can do things to those bass chords, but I think learning the bass essential chords in the key is a great way to approach it, because if you get really comfortable going back and forth between those chords in that key, when you go to learn a song or you want to go write a song, if you're learning a song that pops up in that key, before you even start, you kind of already know, oh, the song's in G, oh, I'm going to have G, C, D, E minor, maybe an A minor, very maybe on the bridge a B minor, but probably not. And I'm probably not even going to have a diminished chord. Unless you're playing metal or jazz or some other interesting stuff. You don't often come across the diminished chords in most, popular forms of music. They're there, they creep up, but yeah. So I made a chart for, the commonly used keys that guitar players typically like to write songs in, the all sharp keys, G, D, A, E, C is a good one. So a couple of the basic keys that everybody should know. So I've got chords. That's what those chords are. If you look at it, it says key of C. Here are the essential basic chords in the key of C. You can practice them, go back and forth. I like that because it's very practical. Like that's how you find chords in songs, right? So we've got some chord diagrams in there assigned to their keys. Now, if you don't know anything about music theory, you're gonna see a couple of things there like, well, there's a G major chord in this key of G, but there's a G major chord over here in the key of D. Why do they both have G majors? Okay, there's some math and some theory behind that. You are gonna see some chords that do belong in one key, but they also fit in another key. But you have to look at them as a set of 6 or 7 chords that all work together. And then each key is its own new set of chords with a new reference point, right? So there's the chord sheets. You can check that out. After the chord sheets, you're gonna find a couple diagrams of scales. Now these are the scales that we teach all of our students here locally, and we start with, you know, the pentatonic. And they're mapped out in A minor / C major, same scale, in all 5 positions across the neck. And we have the A minor blues, where we add the flat 5 to that. There's also a diagram for what I call the closed position of the minor scale, right? Or the caged, people call them as the caged positions. And that one is written where there's some whited out notes, or there's the black circles indicate the pentatonic scale. And the missing notes from the pentatonic scale are in kind of like white circles, the note name. You fill those in, and now you have the completed minor scale. For example, the A minor pentatonic is that. Now, if we fill in the missing notes to the pentatonic, we get the other fill in the blanks, basically. So they're kind of a twofold. So in the closed position of the minor scale, there's 5 positions that coincide with the 5 pentatonic positions. You can kind of see that on the diagram. And then we also have our 3-note per string positions, which I like to talk about, because you kind of have 2 different schools of thought in the guitar world. Texas trucks. You have the caged scale shapes, and these are in G, I think, in the diagram. Closed position. They're all in the 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and 5th frets, right? It's in a closed position that kind of overlays with the pentatonic shapes, right? Then you also have what people refer to as the 3-note per string method. So here's, you know, G major closed or caged, and then you have the 3-note per string, which is exactly what it sounds like. 3 notes per string. You have 3 notes on each string. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. It's your full 2 octaves. And then got a couple more notes. So they have the 3-note per string positions of the major scale. So you can either do the caged version, where there's only 5 shapes to learn of your major / minor scales, or you can do the 3-note per string, which is like a lot of the shreddy, you know, ripping guitar players. A lot of the ripping guitar players will use the 3-note per strings because they lend themselves nicely to 16th note triplets patterns and things. So those are in there as well. I think one page only has 6 positions of the 3-note per string, and then one of the other diagrams has all 7 positions of the 3-note per string scale shapes. Now those are in G major / E minor, because the same position can be G major or E minor. So it's kind of a 2-for-1 deal. That's what I tell all the students. I was about to say kiddos, but we have a lot of young players, but we also have some adult players, grown-up players, right? That it's a 2-for-1 deal. If you learn all 5 positions of your A minor pentatonic, congratulations, you've also learned all 5 positions on the fretboard of your C major pentatonic. Same thing with G major, E minor. So that's kind of a rundown real quick of what's in the PDF little booklet. It's about 11 pages of PDFs, or 10 pages of PDFs and a little thank you page, right? So this is something we kind of created. We use it, again, with our students in person here at our lesson studio. But we do have a lot of folks who've been following us online for the last decade on YouTube who like what we do and they appreciate our videos and they would like to show their support for a small mom and pop business. And so I created that as a digital product that you could purchase if you want to. Right. Now, again, there's no shortage of information out there. You could go dig around and find all of this stuff somewhere. But this is how I organized it and I put it together in the way that we use to teach it with our students in a way that I think makes sense. So I hope you enjoy it. If you have any questions, please, and you get the PDF booklet on the diagrams, please don't hesitate to email me or ask a question about that. So I'm happy to help. Appreciate all the love and support we've gotten so far from our viewers. Thank you very much. Again, we're a little music store in a small town in East Texas, and we're doing our best to keep the music alive for the next generation of young players and adult players too. Adult players, it is never too late to learn to play guitar. My most mature student was 78. Mr. John never played music ever in his life, and at 78 years old, wanted to pick up the guitar and start and just, learn some basic chords, play some gospel songs at his church. And Mr. John learned to play some chords so he could play some songs in his church. So it is never too late to keep the music alive or to start your journey. So link down below if you would like to go get some resources that you might find, reference resources that might help you on your guitar journey. And we're probably going to be updating and adding more things to the shop in the coming months. So thank you guys and girls so much. Appreciate you. See you next time. Until then, keep the music alive. Don't forget it. The music needs you. We need the music. We need to keep it alive for the next generation of musicians so they can find solace and therapy in music. We certainly need it in these times. All right. See you guys next time. Bye.